Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's be another story time. This story time is going to be a bit different. Um, it's what happened to me like 2 years ago on Halloween, like before all this lockdown thing started, obviously. So yeah, it's what happened to me on Halloween. So I was just a normal night. I went out with a few friends, Mojo and her sister, and a couple other people, like their friends sort of. So went out, had a good night, dancing all night long, because when I go out I don't sit down. I get my drink, I go on the dance floor, and I stay there and shake my booty all night long. Yes. And I'm sitting in front of my fire. You see my fire going on. So yeah, it was a good night. And then it ended with my phone dying, because my boyfriend is meant to be picking me up right after the club, so I told him that I finished at 3 because that's what time I normally finished it, but on this night I actually finished at 2, so my bad. So my phone ended up dying, I had no way of contacting him. I would turn my phone back on and it would go on for literally a couple of seconds, so I would try and like write a text, and then before I could send it, my phone would die, because you know, phones do that a lot. But obviously my new phone that I have now, which I'm filming on, the battery life is actually really good. Like even 50% can last you all day. So I wish I had this phone back then. So yeah. So I say I was a bit tipsy drunk. What I mean to say was, I was literally drunk. So when I got out and took up the taxi and stuff, I was feeling fine, just blurry vision. And obviously my friends were like, no, we'll wait with you and stuff. Don't want to get into taxi, want to wait with you until your boyfriend comes. And I was like, no, just you get home. I want to make sure that they were fine. Like, you know, get in the taxi, go home. I'll wait here or I'll walk home and like meet them halfway. So they were like, right, okay then. So they got in taxi and left. I was going to wait there. I was. But then my drunken mind that I was in that night, I was just like, no, I'll just walk home and you'll like drive past me on the way there. So I just started walking home, and obviously when I'm on my own, the wind's hitting me, started to rain a bit. I started realising that, you know, shite, I'm actually drunker than what I thought I was, because my vision's like totally blurry. I like, glad I know my way home. So as I was walking up, when you get to the left, there's a bend that you had to walk around. So on the left hand side there was a park, and I lined the walkway with like trees and stuff, so you can't really walk, like see in that park, and it's a very dark area anyway. So I started crossing and I walked on that pathway, because it goes up and it sort of like bends, and then you go up another hill. So I crossed the road and I was just walking, I was fine, you know, I know where I am, but these 4 boys ended up coming behind me. I don't know where they came from. I think they might have came from like out of the park bit, so they might have walked across the park in the dark. God knows, never seen them like behind me, so obviously I knew where I was going, never seen them in any direction. So they came up behind me, and out the corner of my eye, all I seen was masks from The Purge. Like flashing eyes, like this big smile with the flashing on it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look up Purge masks for Halloween. And they were all wearing them. So one of the boys thought it was funny to put his arms around me and try and touch my boy parts. And I was not finding it funny, I was actually finding it really, really scared and petrified actually. So I was trying to get him off, and they were laughing and just not caring. Like they didn't know me at all. Well, I don't think they knew me. Like I said, didn't know their faces. So as I got away, I was basically running for my life, because I didn't know what they were going to do. Didn't know if they had a knife on them, didn't know if they were just going to batter me, don't know if they were just going to do sexual things to me. Like they could have dragged me in that park and done whatever they wanted. But thankfully I managed to get away and basically run to the top of the hill and just kept running. And as I slowed down right behind me, I noticed that they weren't following me. And that's when I noticed that my partner's car was driving past me and he tooted. So I just ran across the road, got into his car, I was hysterical, crying my eyes out, and he was like, what are you doing? And I heard my mum's voice, which made me cry more for some reason, which I don't even know why. And like I said, I was drunk as well, and this just happened to me. So I was in the state of shock as well. It was like a state of shock, and how can this happen to me, and why did it happen to me? Were they in the club? Did they follow me from the club? Like, I don't know. So my partner was on the phone to my mum because apparently they were looking for me as well. Because, like I said, I thought he was just going to drive past me, I was going to see him, he was just going to pick me up from there. But no, he went a different way from when I walked, and him and my mum were on the phone because he was looking for me. And he said to hang up with mum because mum was wondering what was wrong with me because I was crying. And he said he'd phone her back. So I told him what happened. We ended up turning the car around, see if the boys were still there, but they weren't. They were nowhere to be found. They could have went to like a house party in that area, and one of their friends' house could have lived there. I don't know. And so when we got home, my partner phoned the police. I was still crying and decided to get out of my clothes and get into some joggies and stuff. And the police came quite quick, actually, from what I remember of that night. They came quite quick and took my statement, took my clothes I was wearing that night, which was like a red and black checkered Halloween shirt, just a red and black shirt. It was checkered, I had fake blood on it, rips in it. My trousers were just like school trousers you would wear at school, but like ripped up and fake blood all over it. And they took that, and the next morning I woke up with one of the worst hangovers ever of my life. And obviously the memories of what happened the night before came flooding in, and I was just really not happy that day, and I was like sad and I was crying. And the police came early and took me down to that area to see if like where it happened, if there was cameras around that area, which I don't think there was, because they said that they would get onto it, they would check the cameras if there was any around that area and get back to me, and they never really got back to me at all. So I guess that there was no more leads, there was no more information that I could have gave them for them to help them. So that was that. And to think of it now, actually, I never really got my Halloween clothes back. Which, if I would have got them back, I would have probably burned them anyway, because I don't really want that memory to stay with me, even though it does to this day. So what I would say to you, and like what the message of the story really is, if it really, like, if it did this sort of thing happen to you, like, or if it does happen to you in the future and you happen to come across my video, always tell the police what happened. Give them every single detail you possibly can remember from the event. Just tell them, or tell your mum, tell your partner, or whoever, your sister, brother, and never ever be ashamed, because it was never ever your fault. Doesn't matter if you're man, female, whatever, like transgender. I don't, like, if this happens, you need to tell somebody. Never be ashamed of, like, never ever have the thoughts of maybe it was what I was wearing that night, maybe my dress was too short, maybe I had too much on show. It doesn't matter. Like, what you choose to wear is what you choose to wear. These people are sick. These people think it's funny to come up to you, touch you, do whatever they want. So you telling the police, giving them every like detail, helps them catch that person and stops that person from doing that to other people. So I just urge you all, if this happened to you, to tell the police, and hopefully they catch the person. And if they don't, at least they've got that on record, at least they've got your statement. And the people that do this to you, and the people that done that to me, they don't realise that this sort of stuff stays with you. Like, it gives you nightmares sometimes, and like for them it was probably just a laugh, and they never thought of that night. They probably have never thought of that night before. They wake up and they probably never know that they've done it. So yeah, so if you take anything from this video, is if that happened to you or happens to you, always tell the police. Just always tell the police, and always speak to someone like your mum, and never be ashamed to let anybody know, because it's not your fault. So I'll just leave you guys with that, and yeah, thank you very much, and leave comment obviously, and let me just your story, and I'll make sure I read them, and like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Bye.